From the moment I woke up this morning until now, I haven't received a single greeting. No one sent me a milk tea, let alone a gift or a red envelope. Do you think I should break down or not? The key thing is that there's something even more heartbreaking. Right now, I just want to give men gifts, send them rent envelopes, and order them milk tea. I want men to feel the warmth and care that we older single women can give. But I can't even find such a person. I want to be a simp right now. Does that make sense? But I don't even have the opportunity to be a simp. Do you think being a simp is bad? It's great. At least it proves you are still young, you can still feel moved, and you still have money.
Hello YouTube, it's your boy, the Passport Bro Wingman, coming at you again with another YouTube video. The title of this video is called Passport Bros Have Female Simps in China. And the video you just watched was from a channel called China Observer. And and the whole focus of the channel is they kind of discuss a lot of the dating scene in China, as well as like the financial situation there, like the job situation and so forth. And so what you saw in the first clip was there's a big discussion on the channel, which there is a ton of leftover women in China. And so much so that a lot of the matchmakers, if a woman is over a certain age, they won't even take her because they believe it's not going to say nearly impossible, but very, very difficult for them to actually find like a mate. So much so that and a lot of times when the matchmakers have, when they have like dating, like dating dinners, or I forgot the term for it, but it's when, you invite a whole bunch of single men, single women. What they try to do is invite a whole bunch of single men to some of these dinners with a lot of the leftover women. And a lot of times they say the ratio is usually like one guy to like 9 women. Now, a lot of the women are leftover women. And for anyone who doesn't know what a leftover woman is, in China, if you are over the age of 27 and you're still single and you're not engaged, or you don't have a husband, you're considered a leftover woman. Basically, they feel that for the most part, a lot of guys they're not going to be attracted to those women. They feel like they are kind of run through the mill. They have a very, very high standards. They're not going to make very, very good wives. They have a lot of issues and so forth. So a lot of guys in general there don't really date them. Now, what's so ironic about this whole situation is, as most people know, China used to have the one-child policy, in which a lot of families just wanted to have sons, because a lot of times when you got older, instead of like Social Security, you just have your son take care of you. As a result, there are I believe they said about 30 million more men than there are women in China. So you would think that men there will be like so desperate that they'll just really take anything. But at one point they were showing that there was a thing called a simp economy, in which a lot of the guys would just try to greet several different women just in hopes that one of them would eventually become their girlfriend. But it's gotten to a point now where a lot of guys there are kind of on the MGTOW thing, in which they just figure that it's not even really worth the squeeze anymore. They're buying all these women gifts. They're not returning their favors. So a lot of guys have just even given up, or they've become passport bros and go into like other parts of Southeast Asia and so forth. And so a lot of the men there in general are abandoning. Any woman that's over 27 has a severely hard time finding a husband or even dates. As you can see in the video, the woman is getting to a point where she's almost so desperate that she wants to actually have a guy she can spoil and buy gifts for and send for him and tell him how good she is and so forth. Imagine finding that in the United States, where it's the exact opposite. We have a surplus of male simps here, and men are just so thirsty, just for any type of, female attention. Although I will say that because of all of the red pill knowledge and a lot of these passport videos and a lot of the manosphere and so forth, I do feel like things are kind of changing. The guys are becoming a little bit more kind of hip to the game. So there's a lot of guys know about the foodie dates, in which girls are just going on guys for dates and so forth. So a lot of guys are starting to like tighten their pockets. We had the soft guy era, unless a lot of guys are pretty much calling out women on these standards of, as far as making them pay for dates, spend money on them without anything in return. So it's starting to even take place here. But I always look at China, because of the situation there where there's more men and women. I kind of look at them as like the precursor to what could potentially happen in the United States. Because, like here, because of all the, social nets like welfare and that kind of thing, it gives women a little bit more leverage. So I'd like to see sometimes how different countries kind of handle it. But the Chinese men there, they're starting to handle it very, very, very well. And not only that, I'm a big fan of there's a Passport Bro YouTuber named Big Truck. So anyway, he used to be called Big Truck Reviews, but now it's Passport Bros Business Class. So anyway, he talked a lot how there's this term, I believe it's called Shim Yu, in which is a term which basically means Christmas cake, in which most men there, they pretty much the way it works is, I guess around Christmas time, a lot of people have this type of cake there, and after their Christmas is over, they have like an abundance of it, and nobody really wants it. So that's kind of their term for a lot of the leftover women there. So he made the statement that, which is true, what he's saying that the parents there are very, very strong on family there, so they really, really press their children to get married and so forth. So when a woman there is not married, it's kind of like somewhat of an embarrassment to the family. And a lot of times it makes the father and the mother very worried that she's not going to have anybody to look after her, take care of her. They're very worried she's not going to have children and so forth. So there's a lot of pressure there. So you can only imagine that not only these women having a hard time finding any man out that'll even look at them, but now they have the pressure of their families as well. And in many cases, currently right now, you're unaware. You might be unaware, but the economy there is doing horribly. Is doing very, very bad there. As a lot of the manufacturing jobs there have been shipped to, I think, Biden, I think he took some of those jobs and actually gave more incentives to go to like Mexico and so forth. So like China is really, really hurting. At one point they were like on the rise, but right now they're really hurting. So like a lot of guys there, they don't have the money to really be Simmps, even if they wanted to. And a lot of the girls there, another problem there is there. So even the boss babes there have a hard time finding jobs and so forth. But now not only can they not find really like a job, but they have no man to simp over them as well. So it's getting really, really tough for those women there, to the point, as you can see at the beginning of the video, you have women there actually simping for men. They even have this thing, if you will look it up, there's actually like a marriage market actually there, where literally the parents will take their daughters to this little market. They have pictures of their daughter up and several girls, and guys actually will go there, and the parents will actually try to match a guy to their daughter and see if he wants to like marry them. And I say that to say this: there are a few YouTubers that actually have stayed in China and they have girlfriends and so forth. I'm trying to remember the brother's name, but there's a big YouTuber who recently went to Kazakhstan and unfortunately had he had violently attacked there. But either way, he pretty much teaches English in China, and he kind of displays a lot of time his girlfriends that he has there. So from what I've heard, it's pretty pretty welcoming to the as far as like the passport bros and that kind of thing. My only issue with China is because of the whole COVID situation, where a lot of the where some of the people there try to blame COVID on like the African immigrants there. It just made me a little uneasy. So if I did go to that area, I would prefer Hong Kong, which is a little bit more independent of like the Chinese government there. But I say this to say that Passport Bros are winning. I recommend, if you can't necessarily go to China, or you have no real, or you're like a little eerie about China, I would say all of Southeast Asia is probably pretty similar to some degree, where the women there are just very polite and friendly. They really take care of their men. And I would definitely recommend you go there versus you stay here in the States, where things are just getting rougher and rougher and rougher, and the standards are getting more and more ridiculous. And it's not like they're really, while there are some women learning from a lot of content that's been put out on the internet about like how their behavior turns off like a high value man and so forth. But there's a lot of them that are actually just letting it go one in and out of others. So I definitely recommend you go down to Southeast Asia if you're looking for a wife. If you want a woman to really cook and clean for you and have their traditional roles and really look after you, just staying here in the States is just, like I said, it's like finding a needle in a haystack. I'm going to leave it at that. Now, I don't want this video to be long. I just kind of want to discuss this and share this, guys, with you, that there are like, kind of like the tables have turned a little bit, where there actually are lots and lots of, female, simps out there that they'll return the energy that, they'll return the affection that you give them, and they're more than happy to cook and clean for you, buy you gifts, look after you, and so forth. So I definitely say, when you get your money up, make sure you take your visit to China and get you a female simp there, and maybe even turn her into your wife, your girlfriend. And I'm going to leave you with that. And I'm going to leave you with a little video just to give you a little bit of how would they say, like, motivation. This is a video that's from a woman who's in the Philippines, and she's going to describe why she likes to, she's going to describe a little bit she's going to describe a little bit about Filipino culture there. I just want to give you a little bit more motivation. I'm going to end it with that. So if you have not subscribed to my channel, if you're a ghost listener, please subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up, hit the notification bell, and leave some comments and tell me what you think about this whole situation. And until next time, this is your bro, the Passport Bro Wingman, signing off.
Filipino
Here are
Wife for
3
Passport
things you
Bros.
have to do to have a happy marriage as a Filipino wife. Now, before you start judging, wait till the end, because this is just how it is in my culture, so please don't judge. Okay, number 1, you have to keep the house impeccably clean, okay? You gotta make sure the toilet is spotless. Make sure that you pick up after yourself. There never should be any dishes in the sink, like ever. Okay, number 2, you have to make sure that dinner is always ready exactly like they like it. Make sure you ask in advance so that dinner is hot and ready when they get home. Number 3, having a massage in the morning and the night is really important. So make sure that you massage the feet, the shoulders, wherever the stress areas are, for at least 45 minutes. But note that it could also go up to 2 hours depending on how stressed they are. And that's fine, because that makes a marriage happy. And then last but certainly not least, make sure their coffee is ready in the morning. That's really important because they work really hard, and you want to make sure that they have everything they need to succeed in their day. So that's